All the signs point to this. Russell Westbrook is now officially a free agent as he turned down his player option with the Denver Nuggets. And so it opens up an opportunity where he could have a reunion with Oklahoma City Thunder. But there are also some other young players out on the trade market, even as free agents, that the Thunder could try to target this offseason. I know they are in the middle of the NBA Finals. The series is tied 2-2 against the Indiana Pacers. I get that. However, there are some players out there that you could trade for without having to give up, probably your top 10 players on the Thunder right now. There are some guys out there that you could legit do that for, and the Thunder have the draft picks to do it. They have the players at the end of their bench where they can do that as well to, trade for guys like Trey Murphy III, you saw at the beginning of the video, or even go out there, trade someone to free up that, roster space for Russell Westbrook. Let's say, for example, Ousmane Dieng, Dylan Jones, those two guys, for example, and they aren't really, it looks like they don't have a future with the Thunder. Let's say Presti and the, group decides that. They could trade them away, get some draft picks, open up a space for Russell Westbrook to be signed to the roster, then also use one of their draft picks this year. That way they can actually go get a guy like Noah Singwe. But we're going to break down if the Russell Westbrook reunion is actually possible for the Oklahoma City Thunder, as well as who I think would be a great addition to this team, okay? It is a Pelicans player. I won't say if it's Trey Murphy or someone else, but stay to the end of this video to find out who I think would be that perfect get at, during the offseason in a trade. Before we get into all that, though, quick moment, recognize, we have 3,400 subscribers, finally broke that 3,400 mark. Want to get to 3,500 by the next Sunday right now, as today is the 15th, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. All right, so, it'd be amazing if we get to 3,500 by the end of the week, into the finals for sure, okay? With that out of the way, let's go ahead, get into today's topic, talking about Russell Westbrook, some other trade options flying around, rumors surrounding him, and Russell Westbrook, all right, he is among the odds to go to the Thunder, okay? Looking at this right here by the Dunk Central, per Bovada official. Now, Bovada can be a little bit fishy at times. However, the Thunder do have plus 900 odds there. Looking at that, that's the sixth best odds, okay? Miami Heat have the best odds, and I think that makes a lot of sense for us to go there. Mavericks, it makes sense for him to go there. I would hate to see it, though. Same with the Kings and Warriors. I'd hate to see them go over there. I don't think he's signing with those three teams, being honest about it. I think the three best teams, if he is going to sign with them, would be the Heat, the Thunder, and the Nuggets. I think those three teams make the most sense, in my opinion, being honest about that. Now, would he help out this team? There's no doubt about it in my mind. I think he'd be a great backup point guard, especially to mentor some guys. Nikola Topic and Cason Wallace, I think, would benefit a ton from having Russell Westbrook on the squad. It's not like Russ is going to be this guy who's going to start or be that true six-man getting 24 minutes a night. He's going to be a guy who's going to get some minutes. He'll get 10, 12 minutes a game, in my opinion. He's still that good of a point guard if he doesn't take a major regression. But he's a backup point guard. He's also there in case someone gets injured. Let's say, God forbid, Cason Wallace gets injured next season. You need a backup point guard to help, handle things there. Backup facilitator and ball handler right there. Russell Westbrook's perfect for that role. He is. I think he's realized that too during his time in Denver where, he's not really going to be a starter anymore on majority of teams that sign him. He needs to fit in somewhere and be a good role player and bench unit guy. He would fit that role perfectly in OKC, and the stats kind of show it as well. He did have a great season returning to Oklahoma City. There, you guys got a little bit of the sign right there, who the guy is later. But 13 points a game, 4.9 rebounds, 6.1 assists. He got 1.4 steals a game as well, so still there defensively. Offensively, like I said, shooting the ball decently, 45%. His three-point shot wasn't horrible at 32%, still getting you 13 points. That was as a six-man, though, for the Nuggets. All right, he was that first guy off the bench for Denver. He's getting up there in age. He's almost 37. Like I said, not the greatest three-point shooter in the world, not the just greatest shooter in the world in general, but he's a good facilitator. He's good, physical. He's a good defender. He's good at the hustle plays, which is what, Thunder are trying to get for guys if they are bringing someone to the squad. 6'4". Like I said, he's also a Thunder legend, okay? He's a Thunder legend. Bring him back for a farewell tour. Little, okay, here you go. Let's try to get you a ring here. Have him retire in OKC. Because I don't know how much longer he has left in the league. Being honest about it, he's almost 37. He's starting to, lose his step a little bit with his athleticism. All right, with his quickness. So I don't know how much longer he has left. It might be something where he realized, look, I just got to get a ring right here. Where he might come to OKC for the final season, retire in a Thunder jersey, and try to get that ring. That could be what we see here with Russell Westbrook. But there's some other things that are interesting going around right here, okay? Pelicans are trying to trade away some guys. Trey Murphy III, this is their asking price. A veteran who can contribute in the playoffs, a young prospect with potential, and multiple first-round picks. I think with the value of some picks that the Thunder have, they could do something like this. For Trey Murphy, though, I don't see this happening. Trey Murphy's contract is just too much. He's going to be making $25 to $27 million next year, and it's going to increase all the way up to $33 million, I believe. You just can't sustain him long term. Trey Murphy, I think, is out of the equation when you look at him. Someone, though, that I think would be a good fit, contract-wise he can fit, okay. And this is his contract right here. This is Trey Murphy's. As you can see, he goes up to $31 million next season. He's making 25, then 27, 29, 31 million. It's constantly increasing. You can't keep him long term. As much as I think he would fit on OKC and be a great player, long term, it's not happening. You can't hold on to him long term. Another guy, though, that I think would be great is Herb Jones. This is his contract right here. Making $13 million this year, almost $14 million. We can go and round up $14 million this next season, and then $16 million the next. You can hold on to that. This is affordable. This is something that you can afford for the next 2 years. 100% is. There's no doubt about it in my mind. I did the trade stuff and, looking into it. It's something that you can have right there. Of course, this wouldn't be a trade video if we did not talk about, as you guys think, I have a, relationship with him. Cameron Johnson. It's a sustainable contract there as well. Decreases next season to $21 million, then goes back up to $23 million. That is that's sustainable. That is a sustainable contract before the Chet and Dub extensions truly go into play. The Shai extension goes into play. You can hold on to Cameron Johnson for him, and I still think he is the number one get for OKC if you are trading for someone. But like I said, Herb Jones is not a bad option either. He is a great player, and I think he fits what OKC is trying to do with defense and young guys and guys that hustle. Well, you can go ahead and look at his stats. You saw a little bit of a glimpse of it earlier right here. He averaged 10 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Okay, not the numbers that we saw with Russ here. Pretty sure he did have an injury, though, if I'm not mistaken. Defensively, he is a monster. 2 steals a game. Okay, from a 6'8" forward right there. You love to see it. He's a perimeter menace, and that's what the Thunder feast off of. That's where their defense is. Out on the perimeter, forcing turnovers, getting steals, and that's what he does with his 2 steals a game. Doesn't turn it over a ton either, under 2 turnovers a game. He shoots it decently as well, 43% from the field, 30% from 3. I know those numbers are a little bit alarming when you look at it, 10 points a game. They're a little bit alarming offensively. However, look at what Lou Dort has done for his, 3-point shooting. When he came to OKC, he was not a great 3-point shooter. You can do the same thing with Herb Jones. You have him for 2 seasons there. I'm sure under Chip, he would develop a good shot. We've seen it with guys on this team already before. Jalen Williams has to become a better shooter. Lou Dort has become a better shooter. Cason Wallace has become a better shooter. Nikola Topic, just from the videos I've seen, his form has gotten a lot better. So I believe Herb Jones can develop into a good shooter for OKC as well. 6'8", 26 years old, super young, fits the time frame of the Thunder right now. And I do think there is a, real, if you want to do the Trey Murphy, trade package, I don't think he's commanding the same value of multiple first-round picks. I think he's only worth 1 first-round pick in those 2 kinds of guys right there. I think we have what the Pelicans would want. And it's it makes sense. I contract trade value-wise and everything what they want. This is what I kind of had going right here when I, kind of messed around, thought about what a good trade would look like. Herb Jones to the Thunder, it says we, lose 2 wins, but this is all just statistics, everything going into it, blah, 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 blah. All right. Offensive rating gets a little bit worse, not much though. And then defensively we get a little bit better, not much though as well. That's just looking at the ratings. All right. We do intake 110K. Oh my goodness. Oh, what are we going to do with an extra, taking an extra 110K? We're still under the allowable incoming amount by $7 million. And then the Pelicans, they get Kenrich Williams. And before all you guys, come hating on me for wanting to trade Kenrich Williams, his trade value is going to be insanely high after getting some minutes in the finals here and potentially winning a ring. If he wins a ring, there are going to be a bunch of teams that want him. And at some point, you're going to have to realize, look, there's some teams that'll give you a first-round pick and a second-round pick for Kenrich Williams just to help them develop some of these younger guys that they have on the team. That veteran presence right there. Someone that can contribute in the playoffs still. Then Ousmane Dieng, who is this young prospect who has potential. He's only 22 years old. He's shown what he can do when he gets time at the NBA level. The problem is the Thunder have so many, great forwards on their team. He's not getting the time to show off how good of a player he truly is. And then trading the 24th overall pick in this year's draft, I don't think the Thunder are going to use it anyways. I think that pick will end up being traded. I think they're going to use that 15th overall pick. I think they'll stay there and they'll trade the 24th overall pick. I think they're going to trade it no matter what. You might as well do that. I think this is a good trade. Both sides, all right. Pelicans get a veteran and a young guy as well with potential and a first-round pick in this year's draft, which is stacked with talent right there. And the Thunder get a defensive monster in Herb Jones, who has potential to have a good shot as well. All right. He'd get time. He'd, step into some of these minutes right here. He'd get like 15 minutes a game. Let's say, oh, you realize you can't keep someone here. Someone's injured, blah, blah, blah. He's just good backup to have right there. And with how little Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins have been starting to play in the playoffs here, Aaron Wiggins had that great game in the finals. Isaiah Joe has shown glimpses here, but they haven't been playing much at all in the playoffs. There's no telling how much time they have left on the team before Presti tries to trade one of them, and they do have tradable contracts. I just think this Herb Jones trade is a great trade. I still think Cameron Johnson's number one guy to go after right now if you're going to trade. And then, of course, Russell Westbrook, the main part of this video that we were talking about here, that kind of sparked me thinking about all these guys that the Thunder could go get. I think a reunion could happen. 100% I think it could. The problem is you have to free up a roster spot, and they might do that with a Dylan Jones or Ousmane Dieng. One of those two guys, I think, are number one to get traded. It's not like me saying, like, I hate them. They need to go, gone, get them out of here. They have potential. It's just, are they ever going to realize that on OKC? Are they ever going to get the time to actually be a great player in the league on OKC? I don't think so. I just think the team is just so good they don't have a chance to play. So get rid of those two guys, sign a Russell Westbrook, or you go out there and trade for someone like Herb Jones or Cam Johnson who's still out there on the market. No matter what, though, the Thunder are in a perfect position to trade some of these end-of-bench guys who aren't going to play that can produce for some other teams for the Thunder to still somehow get even better. That's the crazy thing. They're in the finals, and they have the potential to somehow get even better. And all the signs point to that, okay? That's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys would rather do. Would you rather go out there, trade Dylan Jones or Ousmane Dieng, then sign Russell Westbrook? Or would you rather package Ousmane Dieng and Kenrich Williams to go get Herb Jones? Let me know what you guys would prefer in the comment section below. See you guys in the next one.